happening to me.
42
Now,
balls.
I love this story so much. Robert Irwin, of course, the son of Steve Irwin, has threatened to sue One Nation leader Pauline Hanson for defamation after he was portrayed in the latest episode of her Please Explain cartoon. Here is a little bit of it.
Well, luckily here in the state of Queensland, it's only 50 cents a bus ride. Well, I guess that doesn't really help us folks out here in the country at all. But that's all right, because now we get to walk the beautiful Bruce Highway. Oh, no! Bluey! Careful of the potholes, Bluey! Lucky the state of Queensland's got a world-class medical system. Back of the line! How long's the wait? 6 months? Oi, Bluey, you dog! Oh, no! It's them juvenile delinquents again! Oh, no! Bluey's being bashed! Well, lucky for us, we've got an awesome premier here in the state of Queensland! Oh, man, I can't believe this is the state of Queensland.
Oh, I love it so much. Now,
Where's the line?
A cease and desist letter was sent by FC Lawyers to Stepmate Studio. They're the production team behind the cartoon series, and you can see one of their bosses on with Chris Kenny every week. In the letter, Zoe Naylor claims that the cartoon is defamatory and involves the unauthorised and deceptive use of our client's image. They've, of course, demanded that the cartoon be removed and the studio behind it immediately stop using Mr Irwin's image without prior approval. Pauline Hanson's hit back. Have a look.
Lighten up, Robert. You know, your father, Steve, he was a larrikin, he had a laugh and he could take the mickey out of himself, and yet you're complaining about this.
I mean, Sam, if anyone had not watched the cartoon before, they probably have this weekend, haven't they, right?
You just wonder, when these guys threaten to sue, what goes through their mind? Why do you think by blowing it up? You know, I know the producers of Bluey just were completely stone cold silent on the whole thing.
Yeah.
As they should be. Just let it go through the keeper. There's been like 100 and something of these episodes. No one's seen any of the episodes other than ones that get blown up because they're so outrageous. You know, there's about 4 that I know of, all of which have been talked about on shows like this.
Yeah, well, I mean, you should be watching Rita every week. She normally gives them a little bit of a G up. But I went and had a look. That particular episode, Joe, now has 130,000 odd views. That was before we came on air. And I'm sure it'll be more by the time we get off air. I don't get what his issue is.
It's pretty weird. It's pretty weird. Like, mate, I guess he's not really a political figure. He's not really a political player. He's not really doesn't really come from, I suppose, the media. Obviously, he's very famous, he's a celebrity and stuff. But you know, maybe doesn't come from the sort of cut and thrust of it like we do, and would not realise this is a terribly, terribly bad idea. I can't believe his lawyers didn't tell him. So, you sure you really wanted?
Well, the lawyers are just like, ooh, dollar sign.
I mean, I'm an art student, right? I do not have a legal bone in my body. But on what grounds are they actually threatening to sue? Like sarcasm?
I know.
You know, and again, any sort of work of art is almost always exempt from it.
Exactly.
If Gina Reinhardt couldn't sue for the picture of hers that was hanging in the New South Wales Art Gallery, I'm pretty sure poor old Robert doesn't have a chance. Although I will say, with rare earnestness for me, I think bringing up Robert's dead dad as a justification for why he should lighten up, probably not the best counter-attack, I would have thought. Your dead dad would have loved it, mate. Come on. We know him better than you.
Perhaps so. Only 20 minutes before we get to the break, Parnell, but, you know, you've worked in political advisory before. I suspect you would have told him not to go down this road.
No, actually.
You would have told him
So I can see what he's doing. I don't think that he should sue, but I also don't think that he will. What he has done with this is he has disassociated himself very noisily with it. Everybody who sees this cartoon will now also know that he is not endorsing Pauline Hanson, and that's going to be important for his brand, which, after all, he wants to sell to a whole bunch of companies who would not want to be associated with Pauline Hanson. So he doesn't need to sue from now. That PR piece has been done. You know, potentially they'll come to some agreement where, like, his name is bleeped out, you know, in the final cartoon, and that's reposted or whatever. But it doesn't actually matter, because now when you search Robert Irwin online, you're not just going to come across the cartoon with him in it from One Nation, but you're also going to come across the fact that he says, I totally didn't endorse this.
I just wish that he had taken the opportunity in the letter to say, please explain. Anyway, after the break.